just itemize them like this, so we won't waste much time. Because what appears to be the cause can also be the effect. Do you understand? Yes. For instance, the first one there, the loss of a loved one, can be the cause of emotional baggage, and it can as well be the effect of emotional baggage. You heard Mr. Kingsley talking about the health dimension of it, that someone can drop dead because of this. So it can be the reason why somebody died. At the same time, it can generate, that is the loss of a loved one can generate emotional baggage. Let me quickly say something here. If you love somebody, don't pretend. Express yourself. But don't express yourself beyond the limits. If it is true that you have understanding and you are strong, no feeling and all that, is okay. But don't pretend about the feeling. Don't pretend about it. Alright. Then the second thing there is what? Can you read it? Are we together?
Yes,
sir. Divorce. You know why I was writing this? I got understanding of divorce again. Beyond the legal separation. I know that divorce is marriage dissolution, right? It is also lack of intimacy. That is among the married couples. I've heard of young couples that are not intimate anymore after 2 or 3 years of marriage. I've heard of older couples that are not intimate. There's one particular case I heard, I think for 15 years, the husband and the wife are not intimate. But they are living together. Occasional, the kind of husband and wife. When they go for occasion, they introduce them as husband and wife, but they are not intimate. So it's a divorce, kind of, but not a marriage dissolution. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And then we have this one, non-commitment, no togetherness. This has nothing to do with whether they are living together in the same house or not, but they are not together. They are not committed to each other's life. Love is all about commitment. So when the two persons that are married, I'm not discussing friendship now, I'm discussing marriage. The two persons that are married are not committed to each other. They are not one. The man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So when there is divorce, they are no more one flesh. They may still be staying in the same house together. Do you get the point?
Yes.
They may not even want to go and do any legal thing and get divorced officially, especially if maybe their religion doesn't permit divorce. They say, okay, me, I still want to maintain good social status. They decide to divorce internally instead of externally. So it causes emotional pain. It causes emotional baggage. Have you seen a divorcee before?
Yes.
And was looking so bright, so, so fine.
A woman.
A woman.
And whenever you discuss gender issue in class,
she's on fire.
She's on fire.
Yeah. So those ones, that's why sometimes all these people, sorry, I'm not against the feminists, but sometimes that's how I see them. Those that are real feminists, that anything male, they say, female, gender, equality, this. They are victimizing male. Gender violence against women. Who is talking about violence against men? Do you know how many men that are killed by their wives? Just in Nigeria. Okay, join America. Do you know how many men that the result of their death is their spouse? In fact, let me even tell you, Chona was talking about women. Men dying younger than women, right? Yeah. One of the causes is their wives. Yeah. Most of them are killed by their wives. Either the wife allowed the man to pass through high level of stress. When the wife is complaining too much about everything, pushing the man to think beyond the limits, the man may drop dead one day. That's why when you want to marry, marry in the Lord. The man may drop dead one day. So it's a serious issue. But the unfortunate thing is that people are not defending the men. And the men are not defending themselves. Instead, you see some men defending the women. I'm not saying defending it is wrong, but maybe because there is much money. Many organizations that are fighting God are putting money in some of these things, sponsoring it. Telling women that they are the same. Amen. Don't make it sound like men are safe in the hand of women, or women are not safe in the hand of men. So some of those people, if you check, either they are not married, they have reached the age they can't marry, obviously maybe because of their belief and thinking they could not live with any man. You know, for you to actually live with a man, you have to have some sense of submission, right? And if you want to marry, you have to have some sense of submission, submitting to your man. Yeah. So if you feel men are assuming positions that are higher than that of women, so you can't submit, it's better you don't even try to marry. Because in marrying now, you are going to turn the order that God determined or God decided in homes upside down. What's the order? God first. Who is next? Right. Jesus Christ. Then who is next? Man and woman. Then children. Don't reverse it. If you reverse that order, you are in trouble with God. He put it there like that. He put it there like that. So, but I'm trying to say, some of those divorcee, they are dangerous. Those that have not dealt with the emotions that occurred as a result of the divorce, or as a result of the treatment they endured before the divorce. Alright, you know, some of them before they divorce, they smell pepper. Do you understand? Some men actually deal with some men actually deal with some of the women before the divorce. Then vice versa. Some women too deal with the men. A question. Okay. This one that I'm taking questions alongside.
Our society, then with the Christian mindset and all that, divorce is usually demonized.
Not Christian mindset, God's mindset.
Okay.
Yeah, God hates divorce. Okay. It's not Christian. God.
I actually don't even know whether it's a question or what.
It's a contribution. So, just say it, we classify it later.
So, what I want to just say is that I personally believe that there are times when divorce might actually be the healing people are actually looking for. Because, yes, I know that it's as a result of emotional and relationship issues and all that. But then I've seen cases where the person was both emotionally speaking, physically speaking, better than when they were in the marriage.
Alright, thank you. So you have to follow it. One of those laws is that remarrying, you have to check the reason for divorce before you think to remarry. So there are some reasons you may have to divorce and you may not qualify to remarry. If you are still in the Lord, do you understand? And you want to obey Him, so you may not qualify to remarry. You may stay like that. But if coming out is better, then you do. Choose even to marry. Is it by force? To marry to start with is not by force. So don't let anybody make it sound like you must marry. So even when you marry, you feel you want to come out. I wasn't the one that said you should marry. So if you want to come out, fine. I'm trying to say that some people that divorce, emotional baggage will go to them. It may not be all. You know, all these things we are discussing, other factors might contribute to what actually happened to the person. So it might not be a holistic thing or absolute fact. Do you get it? Some people after being divorced, they might be fine, depending on whether they were in hell before. But remember, it's not how the person looks that we are discussing. We are discussing the fact that this person has committed her life to marry somebody, and then suddenly there is a breakup. If the breakup is not caused by him, somehow he's going to feel bad. Then if it's caused by him, maybe she's happy or he's happy. The other person might not be happy. Do you get it? So either the husband or the wife might end up having negative emotion that he may need to deal with. And if both of them do not have, it's not a problem. We don't pray that they have. My prayer is that they don't have negative emotions after divorce. If that is okay, that's possible. Fine. Is that okay? Can we move on? Alright, so we have relationship challenges. Do we agree with that one? As a cause of emotional baggage and also effects? Hello, answer me now. Yes. Then loss of job. Yeah? How can it be effects? Loss of job. How can it be effects of emotional baggage?
Ineffectiveness in the workplace.
Okay, due to the things the person is carrying may lead to a relief. Do you understand? So don't think that this thing is just something you manifest. It can affect your productivity. It can affect your commitment to things. So your boss gives you responsibility, you can't deliver because of emotional baggage. That may lead to loss of job. It can even make you to insult your boss. Do you understand? Because this thing it controls you somehow. So you say things, you're angry and you're now saying things. Saying things yes, you shouldn't say. Maybe all you know about your boss by privilege, now that he hurts you, you now say everything. Those that are true and those that are not true. Maybe the other day, two of you follow and went somewhere for a meeting and bought food for you. Because of emotional baggage, you felt he loves you. So now, because he's correcting you in the office, you say, is it because you asked me out and I didn't agree? You know, it's careless talk that can lead to your dismissal. Have you heard such thing before? Is it a possibility? Yeah, it can lead to your dismissal. And why are you talking like this? Is the same is what you carry. And some of these people, after they finish talking, they come back to their senses and become so down, so afraid, so scared. Why did I say this? It's like a mad person. You know, madness has a way of bringing you back to normalcy after some minutes, at least for a few seconds or a few minutes, become normal. When they are normal, they begin to think of how they misbehaved when they were mad. Yes. Like someone in psychiatric hospital, maybe when he's fine, the person may recall how he was biting somebody's hand when they were giving him food. And they feel bad. When they see the person, they are like, oh, I'm scared. Why did I do that? Some people with emotional baggage behave like that. They can pour out everything in their stomach here. Thereafter, they start regretting. Oh, please forgive me. I said this. I said that. You forgive. The next day that he is hot, he will do the same thing. Because he has not dealt with the things inside of him that is making him or her to behave like that. Do you get the point?
Yes, sir.
Can we move on? Alright, so maltreatment. If you were maltreated as a child, it has a way of creating emotional baggage in you. How do you know whenever you mention that person's name or the memory of that person puts you again in pain? Hello? Get what I'm saying? Someone maltreated you 10 years ago, and the memory of that person puts you back in pain. That's making you feel the pain again. It's a sign that you need to be healed. Financial hardship, home or work stress, miscarriage, abortion. All these things are causes and effects of what? Emotional baggage. Alright. The list is endless. We still have physical trauma, physical or emotional combat, physical, mental, verbal abuse. Yeah? Someone can be abuser because of emotional baggage, and someone can be abuse victim because of what? Emotional baggage. Do you get the point? So someone can fall into it, and then certain emotions, of course, if you are of age and then someone abuses you, it has a way of making you feel bad and angry and bitter and all that. If you do not resolve all those emotions that are generated, then you are carrying bags, loads in life. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Then we have negative self-talk, condemning yourself can be as a result of baggage, things that you have not dealt with. Rejection, long-term stress, physical illness, feelings of inferiority, neglect, or abandonment, among others. Let me just say a little on physical illness. That is in line with what Mr. Kingsley said earlier. Physical illness. Some people, that their problem is emotional baggage. They may not respond to any treatment. Maybe they may respond to treatment after some days or some months or some weeks, they fall back to the same sickness again. They keep taking drugs, and then the drug form certain effects in their lives and stop working. The issue is that sometimes they are treating what is not in existence, abandoning what is their problem. You know, many times that people test for malaria, they say plus this, it doesn't really mean you have malaria. Do you understand that? There are some people that treat malaria every month, and they sleep in a naked bed and in a neat house. In this house, there is no mosquito, but they are taking malaria tablet every month. There are some people that treat typhoid. You know that one they call typhoid? Yes, there are some people that treat it regularly. But they are drinking good water and they are not eating spoiled food. I mean, they control. You look at it, they manage what they eat. They control, they cover things. So where is these infections coming from? I trust tests most times. When you run tests, you find. So some people, they keep finding something and keep taking drugs and keep treating things. Why not realizing that the main problem is
the state of mind?
The bags they are carrying. The undealt, unresolved emotions in their lives. I've done a practicum in a hospital, and one day we were called to talk to a patient who wasn't responding to treatment. The doctor in the hospital called us. I was talking to, I think, people in the premarital section. They came for tests, something like that. So my colleagues who were in the ward came to call me that the doctor is calling for attention. So later I went to see the doctor. He referred us to one patient whom he said wasn't responding to treatment. And the doctor knew that it's a psychological issue. That's why I'm bringing it up. The doctor knew that it is a psychological issue. So I went and the man just looked at me like this and removed face. So I was now talking to the caregiver that was beside him. I think his sister also. I was discussing with the sister about it, like trying to know what is wrong and all that. I was asking things. So as I'm talking to the sister, the man now responded. The sister responded wrongly. And the sister gave me wrong information. So the man now opened his mouth and corrected the sister. Then that gave me opportunity to talk to him. And we got talking. We talked for like 15 minutes. And then he accepted the doctor should come and treat him. The doctor came and gave him injection. He didn't allow the doctor to choke needle, like do anything. They carry drugs like this, he can slap your hand. And he wasn't mad, it was just normal. Bring drugs, they take, you will slap your hand and take the drugs down. So some doctors actually understand the psychological dimension. And they refer their clients, they refer their patients to where this kind of stuff can be given. But the point we are making is that physical illness can be as a result of emotional baggage. And then emotional baggage can also cause physical illness. That's the point. Alright, then inferiority. You see someone that is so inferior. I mean, having a sense of inferiority most times is connected to something that happened in the past that the person has not dealt with. Maybe someone said something. Let me give you a typical example. In primary school, someone answered question wrongly and people laugh. Do you get the point?
Yes.
Do you know it has a way of making the person not to answer question again up to university, even up to masters and PhD?
Yes, I usually don't get
Yeah, this is a fact that I've seen.
I don't get this.
It's not true, right?
No, like, I don't get it. How? And the person has a problem.
That's the problem we are discussing. The problem is what we are discussing.
Come on now.
That's what we are handling.
No, I mean, he gave a wrong answer to something. Maybe some teacher will laugh.
You know, we made jest of ourselves so much in primary school, secondary
Some people are not like that.
Yes.
And again, the family the person is coming from, you don't even know what is happening at home. Whether there is any sense of encouragement or motivation for this person at home. You know, as a young child, you have to have a way of making the child to believe he is somebody that is motivated, that he can do it, he can take a challenge. If he fails in anything, you have to make the child believe young enough as a young child, long enough as a young child, to believe that the mistake doesn't mean he's nobody, he's nothing. And then look for those good things in his life, his or her life, and appreciate. You don't know what this little thing, oh, well done, this is good. You don't know what it does to people as they are growing up. So imagine a child that do not receive it, do not meet that need in his life, is now coming to class, and then you people are laughing at the little effort that the child is making. Laughing at the little efforts the child is making. It may be the reason why that child do not talk in the public, or do not answer a question again, or carrying sense of inferiority, saying that I'm nothing. As he's walking, I'm nothing. Every other person in the world is better than me. I think they were expecting a baby boy or so. So she came, and from that baby, there is a particular treatment she received that is connected to how she is now. So no matter how the husband and the wife may be quarreling, when a baby comes, they should try to resolve their issues. Welcome the baby, give the baby love. Let the baby feel the sense of belonging and superiority. Yeah, I know there is a limit of feeling superiority that is actually damaging, but at least a minimal one. Don't let the child feel it's nothing, it's inferior. Or you start having siblings and you start comparing. You have 2 children and you prefer that this one is beautiful. Definitely there is going to be one that is beautiful, and don't create a scenario that you prefer this one to this one, because you are depositing something in the life of that child as he's growing up, which may affect the child in primary, secondary, even university level. Many students in the university now are suffering from what I'm saying, because they are seeing their mates now, they are trying to come out from that shell. But the problem is, many of them are not bold enough to say, this is my problem, I want it solved. So they remain like that, but inside they are dying. They wish they can express themselves. They wish they can defend themselves. They wish they can be confident in themselves. Alright. So neglect, abandonment. If you are from whom that they neglected you, they abandoned you, I believe it may have done something to you. So if you didn't resolve it, it may affect you. Alright. Question. Okay, let's take, that will be the second to the last segment. After how to identify, we do the treatment, and that ends it.
Okay, sir, thank you so much for that enlightenment or feeling of inferiority.
Okay.
But I want to put it on base of someone that have scar, like like when the person is young, the person had an accident, and as the person is growing, the scar is not going, but it's still there. And when you are growing, you find out like, okay, let's use the primary school aspect. When the person tries to, even though he has friends, when he tries to mingle with friends, and when the person see that scar, the person will like drawing back, saying that maybe, I don't know the thought, but when you are now growing, that emotion, and that trauma is still
Yeah.
there leading up. So, what is it?
It's also has a way of control what happened to him as a young person, even as you are sitting down here now as a youth. You may not really control certain things that happen to you, but you can control how you react or what you do after that thing happened. Let's say you have scars in your body and it wasn't your fault. Even if it was your fault, you have to come out of the negative emotions you are having because of that thing. If it is fear, if it is scared, you are being scared, you are being shy of people knowing it, you have to come out of it, because definitely if you don't come out, it's going to be affecting your relationship with people. Anybody that gets to know it, you feel bad when you know that someone knows it. I know someone that always puts his left hand like this and rub, I think something like handkerchief in his palm, fold it like this, and always, since I met that person in 2015 or 2016, every time his left hand is like this in his pocket. Do you understand? I don't like pointing things like that in people's lives. I ignore it. I just think maybe it's a style, but then some people start wanting to know why. So people were discussing, why is he always putting his hand? So someone suspect maybe the palm is cut or something. Since then people are observing him. I mean, trying to see if they, by chance they can see the hand. But personally, I've never seen the hand, this hand, outside the pocket. I mean personally. I've stayed in the same hostel with the person for at least a year or more. Then I'm still seeing the person around, but I've never for one day seen the person's left hand outside his pocket. I do not know at home whether people around him with his wife or still see the hand in the pocket. I don't know what is happening, but it seems something might have happened to the hand and he's hiding it. The point is this: as long as you keep that thing secret, it's still a problem to you. If you have scars, you may even be the one to show people. Yes, you introduce it to people. I mean, you know me, I have scars in my body. See, there's one mark in me. It's going to heal and make you heal faster. The problem is not that scars. The problem is what you feel about what people think about their scars. Scars is scars. You just take it to be scars. Me, I have it in my body. It doesn't mean anything. Does it make me unserious or uncommitted? No. Even if a man wants to go and marry you and you have scars in your laps, just say, I hope you don't mind, there is one big scars in my lap. Yes. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. Because if it is a real marriage, one day he's going to see it. So why do you want him to be surprised? Why do you
what she asked? Okay, in my whole community, I'm the only youth with visual impairment, and I wasn't born like this. In fact, I've written my wife before it became very, very serious. So at that point, you know, going home during Christmas periods, I feel I was no longer comfortable. You know, those mothers and fathers who knew from church, when you used to be the Sunday school, come and present recitations and all that. Now seeing you, like, Jesus, is this true? What has happened to her? You know, those side talks. Initially, on the first year, I wasn't cool. Like, if I go home, I'll just stay inside the house. So, but until number one, two things that triggered me to become very, very free was the death of my age mate. Then secondly, when I went to a special school, the school of the blind. Okay, the first one being the death of a peer was when I heard that this person has passed on. I was like, I started thinking to myself, this person has every part of his body complete. But here am I without my sight, yet I'm still alive.
Wow.
So that's number one. Then number two was when I got to the dive school, you see where you bump into a blind person, maybe going on your way, because over there I found out that people move around anyhow, and even the teachers are equally blind. are equally blind. So you see where you bump into someone, a student like you, and instead of the student telling you sorry, say, who is that idiot? So sometimes you will, maybe you're moving, trying to learn your way around, and you collide with a tree, and they say, nonsense idiot. So you don't see as big as that tree seems, you don't see her for there. So nobody was spitting you. Nobody's trying to feel like you're not seeing. So when some visitors come to see us and see us, throwing these words at ourselves, they were like, come on, stop that. We say, smart, don't worry, that's what we do. So some of these things now made me, even if I come outside, after that I wrote my jam and all that. So that time coming back to the society, see somebody say, see that blind girl. Normally you have felt bad. Even one day, somebody wonders, are you blind? I say, well, probably blind. And what about you? So that actually helped me. That is how to face your reality.
Yes.
It has a way of helping you out of any trauma you can think about.
Yeah.
That's on that. Then I want to ask a question, sir.
Thank you for adding to that.
Okay, thank you. So talking about this emotional baggage, I experienced something with someone I so much cherish. In fact, a family relative.
Okay.
She was so. In fact, she's still dear to me. So, but we know that relationship is no longer that as it used to be, because something that the rules have warranted anything caused her to use some certain statements on me. Something like assuming, if you have a better place to stay than here, you will not be in my house, or those kind of thing. And to me, I don't dialogue with her. I told her this thing you said to me pain me, but I'm a very hustling girl, and this is why I started challenge. I can hustle. So with that thing changed my mindset, because initially, after every break, I'll rush home to stay with the children. She can even travel. I'll stay with the children until she's back. So, but because of that, I felt I need to work on myself. I need to develop my personal self. So from there, I started going into campaigns, politics, and other things.
Wow.
So I started fetching stuff for myself. I no longer rely on anybody for my school fees and blah blah. So now, in as much as I don't still go close to her, like go and stay there, all those, but on my own, I remember her, I call her sometimes, and then I buy her gifts. But I can no longer go to stay in that house with her. Could you say it can be a form of emotional baggage?
Okay, it can only be a form of emotional baggage. Your reactions in the current time. Do you get it? So if it is not affecting, then it's not an emotional baggage. I mean, the affecting you now, in the sense that it's controlling what you do. Like this working hard. Could it be it's because of that thing they say, so you want to work hard to prove a point? But we're about to discuss the identification now. You are going to be shocked to see that some of the hustling, working hard, is actually because of something you've not forgiven yourself or forgiven people. I'm not saying that's your own. Do you get it? So, but then you have to check yourself. That thing they say, is it really controlling me, or is it having any effect in me? That is when it is a baggage, when it has effects. So if you check, and it does not affect your current life, it doesn't affect how you think, it doesn't affect your feelings, it doesn't affect your behavior, that's not the reason you hustle. You don't want to become something just to compensate for what the person said, then it is not emotional baggage. But if you want to become something in a proof, or to disprove, or in a way to disprove what someone said, so all your efforts is to become something, to disprove a fact that someone made some years ago, then it is a baggage. You need to be free from it, totally, and then pursue whatever you are pursuing. So I'm trying to say the reason for pursuing something shouldn't be as a result of what you experience. The reason for working hard, the reason for hustling, someone insulted you with a car, so you have to work hard to buy a car. The reason you want to buy car is because someone insulted you. Are you sure you are free from the insult? Are you sure the anger is not still in you?
Whatever the reason you need to work hard is actually helping you. If you are maybe you're just living a normal life, okay, and then you went home.
How you know it's not going to helping you is that it's going to affect your decisions, affect your choices, and even affect other aspects of your life.
After you bought the car.
Hmm?
After you bought the car. The car is what you're trying to buy or something.